I think we're good. We should be. All right, let's see. All right, we're back with another episode. First, the sponsors. Head over to www.johnbartoloshow.com. Go check out a complete list of all the sponsors there. I want to thank a few of them now. Special thanks to Enforce Weapon Lights. Go check out Enforce. Blackwater Ammunition, Galco Leather Holsters, Rhino Metals, Full Quartzen Firearms. Shout out to Scott Full Quartzen. It's probably at the lake house. Got a special episode today. I want to thank SigSauer. We're going to get into some interesting Sig stuff that's going on. Top secret, though, of course. Tom and Jason, if you're listening, turn it off. I don't know what to tell you. Call me and complain. We got the one and only. Not going to make her wait any longer. Valentina Shevchenko, UFC champion. What's going on?
Hello, John. How are you?
I'm terrific. Pull that mic up close. People want to hear you. They don't want to hear me. So listen. You were just at a top secret, undisclosed location.
Undisclosed location.
G14 classified.
Like all over my internet about this location and everything.
So let's get into this. It's the SigSauer Hunter Games, right?
Right, yes.
Okay.
The first ever.
You asked me not to ask you who won. You're sworn to secret. No, she's not.
You're making your promise. Like
she's not going to disclose any winners, guys.
You are so trustful, man.
So it was fun.
It was amazing competition, first of all. And yes, it's so true. It's like it was first ever Hunter Games organized by SigSauer in the beautiful location in Queen Mountain Range in Wyoming. So it was amazing, 10 teams competing. And it's like lifetime experience.
And you had Jack Carr on your team.
I had Jack Carr in my team. I had Brian Sanders in my team and Kevin Holland. So it was like, in my opinion, it was like best ever team.
Dream team.
True.
Dream team. How was Jack? Was he all right?
Jack, he did so amazing work, and he's like all his titles what he has sniper,
author,
sniper, author, like best-selling books. Definitely it was something like to be in the team, it's kind of like very, very huge experience.
The best part about Jack Carr is he uses a fake name. That's my favorite part about Jack Carr. So Jack's awesome. And listen, it looked like a blast. From what we saw, from what you showed us, we saw camping, we saw outdoors, we saw challenges. So we get the idea that there was this competition. When is it going to air? Do you know yet?
I don't know yet,
okay.
But definitely all competitors, they are starting to post their own posts. But yes, definitely they will put maybe a couple days, maybe a couple weeks, I don't know, because it's it's so much material, it's so much during the competition shooting and everything that they did. So I assume it's gonna take a while to edit everything.
What made you want to do it?
Because my lifestyle, my love for the shooting, for the competition, for everything, and it was like this type of competition. It was something like combined between like precise shooting, the super hard cardio, what we had to do everyone during the circuits that we did, and it's kind of like what was our schedule of the day. We waking up at 5 a.m. and then started like preparation and everything. We had to hike for the 8 hours each single day, and it's kind of like you have to climb to the mountains up to 9,000 feet, and you have to do it fast enough because it's all for the time. It's all about time. We had like 15 minutes for whole teams to shoot, to find your target, to set your to find your position for the best shooting, and then 50 minutes for everyone to shoot. Then just 30 minutes to move from one stage to another stage and do it again for 10 stages. Now,
Daniel Horner designed the course. That much I know, and I know Daniel. Now, interestingly enough, it couldn't have been easy because he's a pretty quiet and salty son of a bitch, and you could tell him I said that, but it couldn't have been easy.
It was not easy at all.
Yeah. Daniel's known for his skills in long-range shooting, and he's no slouch, and I don't think he's going to go easy on anyone. Do you know by chance how long the longest shot was in the comp?
The longest shot what we had, it was 1,000 foot.
Wow.
Yes, it was the
longest. That's a poke.
And it was hard to find the target first. Then it's like on the target, it was just the form of lungs. It's like metal steel, metal target, and you have to hit exactly at the same spot to get your points. So for each shooters, it was like 3 shots for each target. You have to hit it from the first shot is better because it gives more points.
It's so far.
Yeah.
And so, talking with Valentina Shevchenko, UFC champion, about the Hunter Games. This is something that's brand new, going to be coming on SigSauer eventually. And we're huge fans of Sig, and we love the way they do things. And I already heard the rumors. Everything they did was first class there,
It's
from
true.
what I understand. They're one of the few brands, we say it on the show all the time, that gets it, from start to finish. They're not just like going to send you a gun and whatever. You know what I mean? They're going to put an experience together. They're going to put an event together, and they're going to make it fun. And they put all these experts together, and really the experience of the event is what drives the excitement, because you're just around so many cool people.
We had a lot of like different sports, like super
Race car driver, everybody.
race car, baseball, NFL players, like everyone.
Matt Light was there. I know Matt was there because I know.
You know who's there? Who was there? It was Royce Gracie.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
The best ever fighter of UFC, of MMA. So his passion for for shooting, for everything, and the most important that all these people was joined by the same passion, by the same lifestyle, and it's like love for the gun culture. And this was the amazing, the most impressive thing of the whole competition. We had Royce Gracie, Cowboy Cerrone, Boyle Sandoval, so all these bright names, UFC, MMA. Then we had other sports like football and everything, and definitely, of course, it was like the best shooters of the country as well.
I think they should be doing more events like that. What do you think?
I think, my opinion, so in the future, it's going to be a sport, because it did so good. Everything was so good that I think it's going to continue the same success. In the future, it's going to be kind of like competition and special sport like that.
I want to ask you because recently, I don't know if you heard, Congressional Medal of Honor winner Dakota Maier came out with this like statement on IG talking about people who train and how they train, and kind of coming down a little bit on civilians, because there's always that angst between the military side and the civilian side. You were just at this beautiful event that obviously incorporated a lot of civilians, a lot of military people. It makes no sense to me, because when I think of the Second Amendment and shooting sports and self-defense, that's something you're born with. That's something, training is something everybody should strive to do or want to do. I don't get it when some of these veterans come out with some of these statements. Have you seen the statement, or did anyone talk about it while you were there, or does that stuff ever cross your mind? Do you ever like what is that guy thinking? You know what I mean? To me, it's the same as if I said I wanted to start training and fighting, and you're like, don't even bother. You're not legit enough. You know what I'm saying? I don't get that mentality. But was anyone discussing that, or do you have any thoughts on it?
No, we was not discussing this. I didn't heard it, because during the competition, it was all about the competition. It was when it's something so hard that you have to do, like hike and shoot and everything. There is no much talks.
No water cooler.
You're kind of like focusing so much on what you are doing, because you have to have all attention that you can have in there. If you start to distract, you're gonna do bad.
Right.
And you have to focus on what you're doing.
I heard some of the instructors couldn't even keep up. I heard that. That's a rumor flying around, that some of the SigSauer instructors weren't up to snuff on the range, that they couldn't even keep up with the cardio.
I think Daniel designed this circuit on
So
purpose.
blame Daniel. But that's the rumor flying around, and I imagine some of those instructors at SigSauer Academy may have had a couple too many lunches. Maybe it's time to start jogging again. But it was tough, and from everybody I heard, in all accounts, it was no day at the beach. Now, I'm not going to ask you, impress you, how you finished, but I'm going to ask this. Were you happy with how you finished?
Oh, yes, I am. Okay. Oh, yes, I am, because I in the shape So I'm every time constantly like training. So I didn't have problem with hiking. I didn't had any problem with breathing, and I'm very happy with my shooting.
Did Jack have trouble with the hiking or the shooting or anything?
Actually, not much, not at all. Because when we are speaking about like guys at this level with the experience what they had in like Navy SEALs and like all this, they definitely doesn't have any problems.
Well, Jack, I'm happy you finished. It gives hope for people like me that are old and washed up. So
I don't know who you're talking about.
Jack
I'm
Carr.
not old. No.
I'm Jack Carr's old. I'm talking about.
I never meet not one old person in there.
Well, we feel old now. I agree with you. I think this is a sport. And I think the problem is it hasn't been marketed properly or brought together the right way. But I do think this Hunter Games thing that SIG is doing is a step in the right direction because it creates an atmosphere that people get to hang out, talk about things, commingle ideas. And I think if they make it a little bit more about the experience with each other too and create drama like a storyline, I think it could be something that people would want to tune in for a long time.
I tell you what, it's exactly like a step in that direction, and the first ever games, it's speaking by itself. It's the first one, and it means it's gonna have a lot of future as a sport, not only as a like celebrity event or something like that, but definitely as a sport, and it's gonna happen.
And I think they can evolve it too. I think they can do something that, like, why not bring in, like a pistol comp, make one instead
we did have competition. It was one stage with a pistol
P320s
right, and it was kind of like we had a target, the symbol in the like as a bear, and you had to shoot, like you had to make 3 shots from the pistol and like get your points. So it was combination. Yes, definitely the number one, it was rifle, the sniper rifle, but we had pistol as well.
And that SIG Cross is beautiful. They let you keep that when you're done, right?
It's gorgeous. It's beautiful arm.
You got to suppress it. That's the only thing. You got to get a suppressor for it.
You had to earn it through the circuit. It's not just you are like showing up because of your name, you get in like all of this stuff. No, you had to earn it in the competition.
Now, they came out with the SIG Cross to get into long range and into hunting. And they came out with it 6.5, 308, all the different calibers, their own proprietary caliber. I forget what their proprietary caliber is, like 247. It's something weird. And they're trying to get that to catch on. The rumor is, from my sources inside the building, that they're coming out with the long action at some point. I don't think it's a rumor. You heard it here first. I've leaked it. So it's going to happen. They're going to get into 300 Win Mag and other stuff, which I think is really cool, because then you can take, these longer shots and you can make the course of fire more dynamic. You can do a lot of different things. I think they could have a lot of fun with this as they roll out these different rifles and incorporate the pistols. And I agree with you. I think it could be a celebrity thing, but it also could kick off a competition season of people that maybe want to compete in it or potentially compete in it. But the sky's the limit, especially the way SIG does things. And the hope is that this catches on and this catches fire, because I think it looked like a ton of fun. It looked like a ton of fun to me.
I was enjoyed so much to shoot cross rifle, because it's like the modern technology, the top of the technology what we could have in the scope. And when it's like through Bluetooth, it's like connected to the binacles, and it's like you are
adjust your range, everything.
Adjust your range, like in doing it, so it's everything like automatic. It's like so much technology, and it's so cool. But the most interesting thing that my coach Pavel Fedotov was training me for this event using the rifle Mosin Nagant. We had like beautiful Mosin Nagant rifle. It's year 1935.
Wow.
The old type. It's like the old technology, right?
Right.
You have to adjust it on the rear side. It has a scale.
Right.
And you have to move it to adjust your distance, and it's also very hard to train with it. So leading to this event, we was like whole week training constantly on a rifle, because I am most like pistol shooter.
Yeah.
it's my passion, the pistol. Definitely I shoot a lot pistol, shotguns, rifles as well, but specifically for this event, we were like constantly going to the Rage Pro Gun Club and shooting just my Mosin Nagant rifle.
You certainly didn't make it easy on yourself, a Mosin Nagant. But now you upgrade to the SIG. Is this something we're gonna see more from you? Is training with long range stuff? You think?
Definitely yes, and I see why not. It's like having a gun, having a rifle. You have to use it, and because during this competition, during this event, I got so much experience, because it's like when you have to hike for that much hours, and every time to deal with your gun, pack it, unpack it, load, unload. You have some difficulties to try to adjust everything, adjust the range, and all this stuff to do, and it became like your natural habit, right? And for keeping the same experience, you have to practice.
Right.
This is what my mentality for not losing, because I really hope to be the part of the second ever Hunter Games next year.
Now, have they talked at all about having everybody back? Would they do it as like an annual competition, you think?
I think so.
I didn't ask them that, but yeah.
Definitely the idea. Definitely the idea, because they started and they had huge preparation for this event. If I'm not mistaken, it took about a year to get everything set it up, because it was first.
It took them a year because they were lazy. Jason's faster than that. He could do it quick. He could put it together quick.
Seeing the level of the competition, I'm not surprised, because they was worried about everything perfect. And every time saying that you can tell how serious any organization about their events, it's everything in detail.
Right.
Everything if everything working as a clock, so you can tell, yes, they put a lot of work in that.
I will say this: if you ever get a chance to visit SIG and you go to the academy, it is a first-class facility, and I've said it on here. I grew up going there, so it's a first-class facility. It was 30 miles from my house growing up as a kid, so I understand, what they're trying to do there, the culture, what Tom's trying to do, what Hannah's trying to do. I get it. And they're big enough that they can do a lot of dynamic, a lot of cool stuff. And I'd love to see more companies doing it. You don't see it out of Glock. You don't see it out of FN. I would love to see more out of some of the bigger brands similar to this, where they're bringing people in to create the content. Because at the end of the day, if you love the sport of shooting and you love training and you like getting out on the range, it's great when these are organized events, because you have the opportunity to participate in them and use
part of the culture, shooting culture,
and learn the culture. If you don't understand the culture of that particular brand, or whatever it is, a lot of companies come to mind, like FN being one of them. Not a lot of people know a lot about FN. It'd be cool to see them do an event or do something that opened the doors to see what they do and how they do their products, and just see, it's nice to have a company that gives a shit about the people shooting the stuff.
And the most important that I enjoy a lot that, for example, if you see teams, it was kind of like combination of military people and civil people. And civil people, they can learn a lot from military people. The discipline, number one, the way how they are working, because everything has to be perfect. You don't have time for talks. You don't have time for thinking, oh, maybe I do that. You just have to work on it, and it's everything that everyone can learn from each other. And it was good. It was very good interaction of the experiences. And it's I would say that my team, it was the best team because we had how I said
good mix
of everyone, and everyone knew that what the goal and what we had to do. So no discussion, everyone was helping to each other and doing their jobs. For example, Brian Sanders, he's a professional guide, hunter guide, and the best shooters, he was second best shooter at the event. So it's everything about precision, and it's they are all so kind persons, They're all like so nice to deal with, so speak with. Definitely Jack is like amazing person, and Kevin, like everything. It was so smooth going, and that's why the most important, it's not only about the what you get from this competition, like a gun or whatever. I think it's like you're making friends, you are getting to know so wonderful people that it's like the friendship could last forever. And I think this is the important, was the number one message of this event.
The networking is well worth it. I think. I agree with you. I think the networking is well worth it. I think the relationships and the people you meet. Now, is SIG a brand you'd work with for a long time? Do you like their stuff, all their core products? Do you enjoy using them?
I did. It was like, they had different sponsors in the event. For example, definitely all the guns, ammunition, SigSauer, it's like the best quality, one of the best quality. But also the gear, what we have. For example, we slept in the tents under the sky. And this Queen Mountain Range, it's so beautiful place. And during the night, you can see all this stars in the sky, and they're so close. In my life, I never saw this beauty.
Because it was in Wyoming, right? I can say where it was. Wyoming. It was Wyoming,
yeah. And equipment, what we had, like for example, backpack, tents, sleeping bags. It was EXO mountain range in the brand, and it's like the same, the super modern technology. You see it, it's so light. For example, we had a mat where we slept.
Yep.
Like it was a ground, and during the night it was pretty cold during the night. And you see it, it's like so thin, and you know, oh, I will be freezing here. I will freeze to death in here. But no, it was so good, so comfortable. And this is what I'm saying about like technology, about the modern time. And everything was like so high quality.
It makes a difference when you have high quality stuff see, this is the thing with the firearms industry and defense industry. When you have the right sponsors and good equipment, it can ratchet up your experience tremendously. So having the right brands around you and the right mix whenever you're on a hunt or you're out on the range or whatever it is you're doing, like, does everybody need a range finder that dials in the exact, no, but does it help tremendously? Of course. So having good equipment is half the battle, and SIG definitely does that. I mean, they do everything first class. So whenever we're in here and we're talking about companies, SIG is one of them that comes to mind. That I always say they get 95% right. There's always still, and I have such good friends there, and I'm happy to see them doing something like this, because I think this is the way to go. I've tried to explain to a lot of these brands for a long time, Valentina, to do stuff like this, because I think this is what they need to be doing instead of relying on Instagram and little videos and stuff like that. Start doing series that people want to watch, people want to pay attention to. I think that's what matters.
But this is in everything. This is like, it's not about just one company, it's everything. If you want like success, you have to do everything like as the best you can. The same as the fighters, for example. When I go to the training, I try to train myself like the best way as I can, because I know this is only one way.
Right.
I can be successful. I can continue be the champion, right? And I totally know that if I would spend less time on training, more time on social media, it would affect my performance in the bad way, right?
But not everybody thinks that way, right? Like, not everybody has that thought process. So it's...
I would say that probably everyone knows it.
Yeah.
But the hard part is to do that.
Is to actually do it.
It's you have to every day constantly remind yourself, this is number one, go to the gym and train there. This is what you have to do. But it's easier to open the social media and like do whatever you have to do than go into the gym and put like in hard
and
work.
Actually do the work. Now, what's next? What are you going to do next?
Right now, I need to rest.
Well, you did a crazy cross-country trip. I want to touch on that for a second. You were driving, you coach everybody, your sister, you guys were driving everywhere. You guys visited all kinds of places. That seemed wild and a lot of fun.
Yes. Usually, like, travel, it's our lifestyle.
Right.
We every time like.
But you seemed like you were really enjoying it. Like this
I
was
do,
this was a great trip.
because it's like my lifestyle. It's
Right.
what I enjoy really in the life to do. All right, and usually like when we travel internationally. But now to like last year it was all about the COVID, and it's like to go outside of the country. It's kind of like okay, but I know.
Pain.
And then you have United States, so many beautiful places, so many beautiful states around, and people kind of like they're all time living in one place and they're thinking they know the country, but it's definitely no, because it's so different from one state to another state, the food, the people, traditions, and everything. And only this way, if you are traveling and like get to know people, you really can say, okay, I know this country, I know what it's about.
Now, I got to ask, because I lived through your posts watching the food and everything go by. The food was amazing. What was your favorite state to visit? Where'd you have a lot of fun?
Oh, favorite states. I really like Nevada.
Okay. Yeah, it's
I
home.
love Texas. I enjoyed this winter time. We spent a lot of time in Florida, and it's amazing stay as well. It's like combination of freedom and everything that you're definitely not feeling like limited doing an action, but at the same time people very responsible in what they're doing. So it's like beautiful nature and everything. Now we were in Wyoming, and gorgeous mountains and beautiful
Disconnected, very disconnected.
yes,
Yeah.
so gorgeous. So it's very hard to just choose one state, one city, one country. It's impossible, because everyone catch you with something, and it's very special just for you. For example, you go to one state, I go the same state, but we can see it differently.
I saw the way you ate in Tennessee. My gut tells me your favorite food was somewhere in that barbecue belt of Tennessee to Texas.
I had to mention you. Coming back to the SIG competition, the Hunter Games, the food was incredible.
It's important. It's important.
It's so true. The chef who was cooking there, it's like, it was simple food. Like, yes, it was meat, it was like everything, but the right combination of flavors and time amount you spend in cooking, the chef, I would say, he was the superstar of the event.
I say it all the time, and people make fun of me because they call me fat and and stupid. And I say all the time, I say, I'm telling you, Coach, there's the food at an event can make or break the event. And you've been to a lot of things.
It's so true.
It can be a crappy event with good food, and you're like, okay, at least we ate, and it was.
Doesn't matter. For example, organizing an event, whatever event, like whatever.
Bowling, it doesn't matter.
Lights, you put all the technology, good music, good dance, good DJ, and everything. But if the food it's not right, people, what's they gonna remember?
The food. Of course, it's so important. I say it all the time. I'm like, please just order, make sure you get a lot, or make sure, if you're going to do pizza, make sure there's enough. If you're going to cook, make sure it tastes right. It's seasoned properly. The food is always tremendous. So there is a thing with you that I hadn't addressed on our last podcast that I've seen that you and I talked about offline. You like to make bread, carbohydrates. A lot of people wouldn't think this about you, but you're a carbohydrate fiend, right?
I do. I really enjoy making bread, and for me, it's like touching part of the food culture.
It's like therapy.
Yeah, and my favorite bread it's ciabatta bread, what I'm making. But also, I really love to mix like rye bread, and sometimes I add like buckwheat flour in there. Sometimes when I wanted something like a little bit taster even more, I add some raisins, I add some like nuts in there, but what I make the most, it's ciabatta bread.
How do you burn it off? What's the secret?
To put a lot of love. The most important secret.
Now the carbohydrate thing, was that something like you were always like that growing up? Like you liked carbs? Because I eat them and I blow up like a balloon. I swell up. I can't have them.
It's all about the balance.
I'm horrible.
It's you have to find your balance. You can have like as much carbs as you want. Just put like balance in your food. like combined with different foods, or you have like stopped to eat at certain time of the day, and that would be fine.
Oh God, I want to eat like. See, I go on waves. Like sometimes I really want to have like pita and chips or something like that, or I'll want like a sub for some reason, like bread like that. Everything's different. But I saw you baking this bread. The point is, I see you baking this bread. And I see you cooking it. I'm like, how does she eat all this stuff? And never a problem making weight, never a problem that I know of, right? That I know of, Coach. You know, never see an issue. Do you ever like overdo it and you're like, I need to stop. I can't be on this bread binge?
No, it's not about the bread. It's more about the cakes, what I eat.
Dessert.
I definitely have this like temptation.
Right.
And sometimes I feel, okay, I have to stop and make like 1 or 2 days kind of like, how would say, when you are stopped to eat for completely and just like cleaning your digestion system and everything. But you know, the interesting what I found, the winter travels that we did, like traveling Mississippi River, Gulf of Mexico, inside like Florida, and then crossing the Florida. It was a long trip. It was 72 days. Riding a car like on the road, and what I found, definitely, as you mentioned, it's so much good food.
Oh God.
But what diet I did, it's like I could eat morning, I could eat lunch, but not after, for example, 2 p.m. From 2 p.m. till next morning, it's kind of like fastening, right?
Wow.
And you know, it's very helpful because you are not having problem to cut something like no bread, no pasta, no salad. You still can eat everything as much as you want, but you have your like this time what it's like good for digestion. And what the important, it's not something that recently invented this type. For example, if we are speaking about Buddhist monks, they doing it like all the time, like, but they do finish their lunch and like stop eat after 12 p.m.
They do that OMED, like 1 meal a day. A lot of them. Yeah, I've looked into it. It's a lot for me to do. I've done 2 meals a day and I've done fasts, but 2 p.m. to the next morning, that's a pretty sound strategy. I think that's doable.
If you, for example, definitely if your meal is just salads and
my fat
chicken,
ass,
it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
By the 6 p.m. you're gonna die. From the hunger.
You're gonna be up all night. Now, do you go to bed early? Do you stick to that? Like, do you always keep your body at like a certain restful state at a certain time each day as an athlete to kind of recover and recoup? And like, especially during training, do you try to set a time to be in bed?
When we train, it's about like 10 p.m. Yes, but when I'm not training, it can extend to 11 p.m. But never, I never like
party. You're not like out all night.
No, it's my time to bed 10, 11 p.m. and I think it's worked for me good.
Because I could do that fast. I think I could do that if I rested and I wasn't like active at night. I'm going to try that a couple times. I want to try the 1 meal a day. I want to try the OMED.
But
I want
to, but very good meal.
It has to be one good meal. But OMED, which is 1 meal a day, is an interesting strategy. A lot of people have been putting out there. Mark Bell just has talked about doing it. He's a powerlifter, bodybuilder guy, and there's a lot of people that preach that. I want to try it, see if I can do it. The timing of when you eat it is the question. Like, do I have it in the middle of the day? Do I make it a lunch? Do I make it a breakfast? How do I do it?
I would say you still can have breakfast. And you still can have lunch, but if you do it like at 1 p.m., it's going to be the best timing. Now,
jumping forward, fight-wise, which, we don't get into too much, you and I, but do you have your eye on anything up and coming?
Right now, I don't have a date set it yet, but I'm ready. I'm still like feeling. I'm still training, do everything, and after the Hunter Games, Hunter Games that we had, I feel I'm almost in the shape.
Almost.
Quite in shape.
Were you surprised at the changing of hands between Rose and Weili Zhang? Were you surprised by that?
No, and if you can see all my interviews before this fight, I straight told that Rose has everything to win Weili, and this was not for me any kind of surprise.
Right, and a lot of people were liked Rose. Rose plays a spoiler a lot, in many ways. It was interesting to see how that played out. For you, it's just kind of sitting back now, right? Whatever the next step might be. And do you have your eye on any potential matchup?
I saw the recent fight. It was Jojo and Lauren Murphy. So I think it's more closer, like challengers.
Yeah, shaken out.
Yep. And Lauren
Jojo looked overmatched. She looks a little overmatched in that.
It's all about the sport. It's all about how much performance you put, and how much you won this victory, and how hard you train, and what you did leading to this fight. And yeah, this is the sport. It's how it's everything working. Sometimes you are successful, sometimes no, and but it's by the end of the day, it's all about your passion for the martial arts.
I think for you, there's not a lot left to conquer in so many ways. You've done so much. I think people want to hear about it. Have you thought about writing a book or something?
Write a book? Not yet.
Not yet?
I do have so much stories.
Yeah.
I do have my diaries, like making all the
Yeah,
notes
like a
about
memoir.
my travel and everything. But for now, to making a book, it's you have to spend a lot of time like sitting and thinking, reviewing everything, reliving and everything. But right now I feel that my life is full of action, and I really don't have time to stop. I don't want to stop. I just want to experience as much as I can, traveling, meeting people, be here, be there, like just see different places. And this is what I really want to do at this time, what I have in my life.
And I noticed you love going and doing the seminars. I saw some of the clips when you're traveling. I didn't mean to pass over this. You do a ton of seminars and appearances. You, coach, your sister, traveling everywhere. Is that something that you and your soul enjoy and you just love doing? Or, do you always work something out with the gyms? It's not really about the money, I assume. You just love teaching to the crowds, and especially the kids, right? I see it all the time in your posts. You genuinely enjoy it.
I really enjoy to share my experience with the people, and more when I feel that they receiving something new for them, and it's gonna help them to build them up as a fighters, as a better person, as a, something like can work good for them. I really enjoy it, and if I can't do it, I will do it.
I think it's amazing. I think Sig should be having you at the academy to teach combatives and stuff. I think all that stuff. Now, it's hard because you're active and you're fighting now, but I see the future of the firearms industry eventually is they're going to stop with this mentality of like just a drill sergeant or just a Navy SEAL or just a cop is going to teach you everything. I think it's going to be specialized in certain sectors. So if you're learning combatives, you'll learn combatives from somebody who's a combatives expert. If you're learning shooting, you're going to learn it from the best shooting expert. If you're learning tactics, you're going to learn it from the best tactics expert. And as they continue to secularize and fit into their cubbyholes, I think brands like SIG are going to push to have specialists teaching, because at their facility, because they're teaching law enforcement, they're teaching military, they're teaching police, they're teaching everybody, security, sorry. And I think having somebody there that is an expert, is that something you'd ever consider teaching at like an academy or guest teaching at like a SigSauer or Smith & Wesson or something like that, or Glock or any training facility?
Oh, my sport number one is mixed martial arts, and definitely I like teaching or doing, like as you mentioned, seminars. And before you was bringing up this theme, is this topic, I didn't think about it. But what I think the most important, it's teach. They can. Whoever can teach, but the most important, if they have experience, if they have like knowledge in what they're doing. It doesn't matter really if they're like a military person or like whoever. If they are shooters and they know what they are doing and they can share, the most important, share and make it understandable for the other person. This is what was the most important. This is number one, because you can see like so many for example, good fighters and like the best stars, but they can teach. They can fight, but they can't teach. And I say that coaching, you have to have talent.
It's a calling, coaching.
You have to have it inside you.
Patience.
If you don't have it, it can work, but I saw many boxers, they are like having their idea of the techniques that this is only one way how it works.
Right.
And if they see a student with different skills, with different body types, they are just trying to break them and put their like fighting style, what they see in their mind,
Right.
into them, but it's not compatible. It's no it's not working that way. You have first of all understand who is in front of you, who is the person is that, what skills, what body type he has or she has, and like looking at these like all factors, you have to find the right strategy, like learning strategy, teaching strategy, and like right technique for exactly this person. It's not the same style for everyone. It's unique.
And I think in a lot of law enforcement and in military combatives trainings, especially at the base level, at the lowest level, they're trying to teach a one-size-fits-all program. That's like they just spit out. When you start to want to specialize and start to get really good at your craft and dial it in, it has to be tailored to your body type. Everybody's going to be different in terms of what they can do, their biomechanics, how they can handle themselves. I just see that whether it's like a brand like SigSauer or Glock or Smith & Wesson or any of these larger entities, as their training facilities continue to evolve, especially at SIG, and they start to offer more and more training to law enforcement or military or any of these branches or anybody that wants to seek the training, I see them specializing more and more and bringing in very capable people. Like, why wouldn't a former UFC fighter or current UFC fighter or anybody with that skill set, that martial arts skill set, be in that facility teaching that? Because you're the best at that.
Everything is possible. You never can say. Because,
you never can say.
Right? It's like you think it's not possible, then tomorrow you see it's happening.
So I'll negotiate it right now. Tom and Jason at SIG, if you're free, Valentina will sign a 2-class commitment for $2 million.
It depends on my schedule.
It depends on your schedule, on what you want to do.
It's a very important detail.
Just trying to get you a deal, just trying to float it. No, I do think that's the way it will go eventually and be more specialized. But whether or not you ever want to, you have such a unique skill set in that not only in the ring, out of the ring, you're a very capable person. And that probably intimidates a lot of people, right? And that probably scares a lot of people. Do you ever think about what that is and what that represents and what that might mean if you ever put it all together and wanted to empower other women to be more capable and be more
this is what I'm doing, not just women. I'm like about all women, like about everyone. This is what I want to send, this message, that a person have enough time to learn as much as he wants. It's like doesn't mean that you learn just one career, you have to have it like forever, for all your life, and to just like be like, okay, that's enough. I learned one thing and that's enough in my life. No, it's our life. It's short, but it's enough to learn like many different things. And what is important is to put more skills in yourself, invest in yourself. I don't like to invest in, for example, if in material things, in cars or something like that. It's not interesting for me. I really love invest into myself, in my knowledge, and learning different languages, learning different like sports, like martial arts shooting. It's like 2 different sports, but it's all the same. Dancing, traveling, and cooking, and all this, it's bringing you so much knowledge about the life, like real school, not just a school, not just a college, what they're like teaching some things that you thinking, okay, I never will use it in my life, but still I have to learn it just because. But this is the real school of real life, and this is what I encourage people to do. Just like don't stay at your house and thinking like, okay, I better spend time like doing nothing and just stay. No, go explore and see what's around.
Have you thought about doing another a tour up like in Canada or hitting some of the areas you didn't hit when you guys were driving cross country? I meant to ask you that about Canada because you didn't make it up that way. But have you thought about like driving through and hitting all kinds of different areas? Man, I could see you like driving up to Alaska or something and documenting.
You know,
that would work.
Funny thing, when we were in summer travel, and we went to Washington State, and we were like driving this, through Puget Sound and like all the way up to Canada, and we went to the border with the Canada, and it was like so close to cross the border. But it was like COVID time. It was no ferries that time.
Like, don't
but
bother.
I assume if it would be open, we would be heading to Alaska.
I could see it and but you could document it and do it on YouTube or something. And I think people would love to see it because it was a lot of fun watching you guys travel around and seeing all the different things that you guys got to see. And just kind of canvassing the country, it seems like so much fun. And it's seeing it through your eyes is unique because you're not born in the United States, so you're genuinely excited to experience these things that we as Americans take for granted because we're lazy and we're fat and we take everything for granted.
You know, it's a huge mistake. It's a huge mistake because what I can see from Americans, they really love to experience things. They really love enjoy the nature, and you know, they like we are saying, the gun culture, it's amazing. I would say like people who are doing shooting, they are more appreciating the nature. They are more taking care about wildlife.
Oh God, yeah.
And they are number one. It's not that kind of people who are saying, okay, we are like worried about our animals, we are worrying about the nature, but they don't know what is that. They never experienced. They lived in the city. They know only their buildings, going from one building to another. People, they don't know what's going on there. But who is really care about the nature and animals? It's all people who are dealing with the firearms, with the shooting, with the hunting, with the, like all this thing.
Yeah, and I think now with COVID, the exodus out of cities and people kind of starting to look more to nature, I honestly think living in and around cities, and I don't consider Las Vegas a city in many ways. It's like a big town. But I think that's on the decline. I think people want to get outside and people want to be outdoors and people want to be more active, which leads people more towards the firearms culture. But the firearms owner in general, historically, is much more pro-nature, pro-outdoors, self-sufficient, more capable. Most of them are going to either be doing jiu-jitsu, or Muay Thai, or martial art, or wrestling. So they just want to be a more capable person, and they want to be a larger contributor to society in a positive way.
It's so true. It's so true, yes.
Because you have to be aware of the laws. You have to be aware of the restrictions. You're usually actively involved in some outdoor group, whether
All
that's
the
a
time.
member at a range or you hunt or whatever, because that's a tied-in thing. It just really depends on the person and what area they gravitate towards. In and around the defense industry, there's so many cool people. And part of doing this show by pulling in MMA fighters, UFC, whatever, to me, it's been a lot of fun to explore what that whole area is all about and what they're into. And I found not only a lot of great friends and great people, but people that shared the same belief systems I did and understood,
yes.
and wanted to be more self-sufficient, more capable, more tuned into what was going on outside and what they could do to further the adventure in their life.
It's exactly what I was talking about. This is a kind of like people who is like looking for something all the time, looking to experience something new, something beautiful, something amazing, something healthy. And
it's easy to do if you're not on your couch eating potato chips, like you said. So every day can be an adventure if you can get out there. And I think documenting it is half the battle too, because when you go and you do whatever, like you guys did, having that documentation, and being able to reflect on it and look back and see the experiences. But here in the United States, the reason I ask what was your favorite place to live is we're very secular too. Like if you're from the Northeast or Boston or Texas or whatever, you're very proud to be from that area. So, I'm from Boston, so everybody else is shit, in my opinion, in terms of where they're from, but typically that's how you have a lot of pride to the area you're from.
It's of course you have to. Everyone has to have, because the roots is what's important. It's
right.
where you come from. It's the number one. It's like you was growing up there. You received your education. You bring it up over there, and this is the most important. But it doesn't mean that you have to stay there for like your entire life.
Right.
You can go experience like places in the world, in the country, whatever you want, but still remembering where you came from. It's the most important.
Well, of course, everybody is going to remember where I came from because I have this ridiculous accent. But no, we are very proud of the regions we're from, and it's a very regional country. And when you get to travel and see it through the eyes of someone who hasn't experienced that, or it's a lot of fun. And just seeing even the experiences, the drive-bys, the little snippets, of just seeing the country. To everybody listening, and I know Champ will speak to this, if you haven't gotten your car and traveled around and done that route,
do it now.
You got to do it. Yeah, you got to do it. There's no better time than now. Now, you got some time ahead for you, and nothing else on the docket, no other plans?
Right now, we have few days to rest. We have, I have to to
Catch your
complete
breath.
everything what I had to complete, what I couldn't do because of travels and everything. So yeah, but I'm very up to start new journey very soon. So it's gonna be surprise where we gonna head next.
I know.
Just stay tuned on my Instagram.
Now, if COVID, everything's starting to open up, COVID restrictions, any plans to go overseas or head back home or do anything in Europe?
I really would love to go and go travel to my country, to Kyrgyzstan, to go back home and just stay there for a couple of months. I really looking forward to when Thailand's gonna open their borders.
Yeah.
I really miss Thailand a lot. And yeah, but in the same time, I really appreciate this time what we have because I have more time to explore United States. I have more time to see what's here around, and I really, I would say, I appreciate this time.
I think it's going to be tough to travel internationally till the end of the year. Not bad, but I think now for the end of the year, it's going to be one of those times that it's going to be a little funky traveling because everybody's going to have such different restrictions. And the question is,
just a protocol of traveling.
Yeah.
You have to certain like this thing before you travel to complete, and but it's probably a little bit more complicated. That's why there is unique opportunity to travel.
Because they were talking about closing Italy again or something, one of the countries again.
I didn't hear it.
Yeah, something like that.
In the mountains of Wyoming, it's no news there, no connection.
There's no connection.
I was disconnected for several days. It's no, I don't know what's happening in the world.
Did they give you any at night? Did you guys have any radio or games to play or anything?
First of all,
you guys had that cornhole game. That's what they were saying.
Yes, but what's the most interesting? It was definitely the dinner, interchanging of different stories, what everyone experienced during the circuit of competition.
Right.
Everyone's shooting and everything, and we had fireplace over there where we was just enjoying the time under the stars and sitting and speaking. And I think it's the best time to spend.
Yeah. Now, listen. It sounds like a blast. The Hunter Games thing, I hope they stick with it. I think Sig's on to something. You have started a clothing line, right? You have the clothing line thing. We haven't got into that. I didn't talk to you about it. You were starting it last time you were in. I wanted to follow up.
It's kind of we are part of there when they have our line. It's our models and our me and my sister, different models, what's active wear for the sport, for the action. Yes, and it's very comfortable, very beautiful for women, and I think this is what it's about. It has to be comfortable and beautiful because it's hard to find something that can combine everything. Now,
you started that last time you were starting to tell me about it. It was launched, but it's up and running and it's going great. Everything's going good.
It's going good, and the most important, it's it's not about like the financial side, but it's more about that you enjoy it. Enjoy it, and it's make you happy. And this is what it's about.
It's very on brand for you, like the colors, everything. It suits you for sure. It's definitely, you definitely had a hand in designing it for sure.
This is what I'm talking about. It's you have to have your soul in there. If you, it has to represent you. It has to match your spirit, match your soul. And this is like what people, when they have these items, they say, okay, this is Valentina. Okay, this is Antonina. This is how they feel connection with you.
Now, and the other thing I want to follow up on before I know you run out of here, but your sister now is a pilot. She's now like at all the official permits, everything. She's like a big deal now. She's like in the Air Corps.
She's a pilot for a long time now, but now she's commercial pilot. Not only instruments. Instruments it was the hardest rating to get of its aviation, but now she's commercial pilot.
So now, when the special ninja forces need to drop you in somewhere, your sister can fly you there. You can jump out.
Or maybe, she can work for the UFC, be pilot for the
exactly,
UFC, right?
Private pilot. That's amazing. And I think you guys are just both always conquering new areas and diving into new and exciting stuff. And I know the flying isn't new for your sister, but to reach that level is really exciting, and to be able to work that hard, it's an accomplishment in and of itself. It's a lot of work, and instruments is a no joke test, to be able to fly on instruments. So,
and she got recently she was ranked first lieutenant in Civil Air Patrol. So she joined Civil Air Patrol, and she's like first lieutenant, and she's continuing to enjoy what she's doing. She really likes to fly, and she loves to train martial arts. So she is also doing what is the most important in her life.
Do you ever get nervous going up there with her? Or are you like, what you're doing? You sure you know what you're doing?
She's an amazing pilot.
She's amazing.
She's knowing what she's doing. She's like taking care of everything, and like checking every single detail before flight, after the flight. She's not just like, okay, jump in, let's go. She's taking really good care of everything.
That's awesome. I mean, I think that's a tremendous accomplishment, and I know she'd be listening and congratulate. I mean, the whole thing. I saw the picture. The Civil Air Corps thing and everything. That's awesome. And it's a lot of fun to continue to kind of press into these areas. I'm sure she was pumped when you went out to the Hunter Games, and that is just so much cool stuff swirling around you guys, and there's never a dull moment with both you ladies. You're always kind of pushing into new, exciting stuff, and that's why, like, you'll say some things like, we're doing a clothing line, and the last time you're out here, and it's like, I follow up with it, and you're like, it's going great, we're on to the next thing. So you're always pushing it forward, and I love that. And I think that's one of the things that draws so many people to both of you in so many ways, and just the idea that there's no wasted time. There's really not. There's just really not.
There's no time to waste the time.
There's no time to waste the time. So I love having you, and I think there's just, the sky's the limit for what's next for you. You just have continued to open new doors, and it seems like every 3 weeks, let alone every 3 months, there's something new and exciting to talk to you about.
It's so true. It's so many stories every time I would love to share, and I really appreciate you having me, because this kind of like interviews that we are having, it's like not interview, it's just discussion. We are just like
chit chat.
Yes, so true. We just like opening everything what was about my recent life, what I had, and this is what I enjoy the most about your show, John. It's like, it's not the traditional form of the interview when you have like, okay, I have to say this, that. No, it's just like free talk, and I really enjoy every time I'm here.
Well, I love having you, and I think that's the idea. Is
and
just
I love the donuts that you have all the mornings.
Yeah, shout out to Pink Box on the donuts. And no, I love having you guys, and you, Coach, your sister, you guys are always welcome here, and I love having you in the studio, because I think your take is so fresh and exciting on so many things, because you're exploring, and you're genuinely interested, and you're someone who takes the time to you're really a unique person in that way, and I've never sniffed or sensed an ego on you, you know what I mean, in that way. And I think that gets taken for granted, and people don't understand how to interact with people of your caliber that have accomplished as many things. When you're in those rooms, and even at the Hunter Games with Jack Carr, all these different great folks that are there, Matt Light, who played for the Patriots, so many great people. there are some people that there's an intimidation, they don't know how to interact or how to communicate or talk to these people, but they don't realize that you're as human as anyone.
It's true, it's kind of like we are all humans, we are all the same, but what I can tell exactly. It's not just from this experience that I had recently, like interacting with all these amazing people in SigSauer Hunter Games, but in general, what I learned in my life, more level of the person you are, it's more easy to speak with you. It's like if the person has so much experience in the life, they gonna be like a balloons. They're gonna speak so like big, bright, but in reality having nothing. But more experience people have in the life, more they saw in their lives, it's easier to speak with them. They are just simple people and very interesting stories, and I really enjoy to speak with the real peoples. And like it's the most priceless what you can have, to hear their stories, to hear their life, to hear their experience. And this is, I would say, that I have to appreciate the most.
I think you should write a book. I do.
In the future.
You should. Well, listen, I loved having you. I'll get the champ out of here. I promised I'd have her out of here in an hour. Anything else you want to add? Anywhere you're going to be? Any appearances? Everybody knows where to find you. Go follow Bullet Valentina everywhere you see Valentina Shevchenko's name. Champ, it's great having you. Anything else you want to let people know where you're going to be, what you're up to next?
No, just like I will be where I will be.
Yeah.
I will go where I go, and just like enjoy my time to trying to do something interesting, and of course like trying to share these like beautiful moments with all my followers. And I really appreciate all of them being and like following my journey through the life. And if I can inspire someone on doing something, on travel,
that's a win.
It's a blast.
That's a blast.
What I can have.
So the key, everyone, the takeaway from this show, the key to Valentina's heart is send her a bread maker. So send her some pastry. So I appreciate it. Thank you for coming in, and thank you so much for spending the time. And I thank Coach, and of course, congratulations to Antonina. Congratulations to your sister.
She will
Appreciate
hear
it.
us.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, we're out of here. Head over to www.johnbartoloshow. Go check out a complete list of the sponsors there. Please leave reviews. I'm desperate for reviews. Go check out Gallo Technology, Galco Leather Holsters, Blackwater Ammunition, Enforce Weapon Lights, Pulsar Thermal Imaging Technology, Scott Volkortsen of Volkortsen Firearms, and of course, thank you to Valentina Shevchenko, UFC champion. We appreciate it.
See you guys next time.
See you.